guys, so today I'm just going to review Tomb Raider 1. I picked this up off Good Old Games. You play it, basically you can play it through DOSBox. I will put a link in the description if you want to know how to download DOSBox. This game was actually originally released in 1995. It was the one that started IDOS, who are a British developer, became very famous, of course. We've had countless Tomb Raider games and Tomb Raider films and just general fanfare around the series. So the main character, Lara, I mean, she was like every gaming nerd's sort of dream. And one of the interesting facts I'll tell you that I remember is that in Tomb Raider 1 her bosoms are pointy, I said slightly pointy, like think Madonna. However, in Tomb Raider 2 they managed to get together the right amount of pixels to give her a more rounded front. The point is, Lara is iconic, and this is the one that started it off. So as you see, like, to be honest, the graphics are quite similar to the original. There's one or two rough edges to it, but if you imagine the time period this game is from, we're talking 95 release on DOS computers, in FPS, you know, action adventure, before a lot of the good Indiana Jones 3D games, Uncharted, and that is essentially what Tomb Raider 1 is a glorified puzzle. As I said, the textures, the graphics for the time are incredible. I still cannot believe that the game was released in 95 when the SNES was still going strong. But you know, to mention the story, there is a good story throughout, which is kind of cool because you get to meet the main villain on several occasions, and you will shoot at him and he will run away. So the game's graphics have not changed much on the Good Old Games one. You can, on the DOSBox, give it 2, 3, 4 times resolution, which it's up to you really if you want to play the authentic old feeling graphics for nostalgia. I mean, to be honest, most of what the AI do is kind of similar, but at the same time they're kind of varied as well. You've got like the alligator, which can chase you in water and on land. You think like an alligator would be rubbish on land, but in this game it's not. It can actually run really fast. The general AI are, you know, they're not particularly complex. You basically just take your weapon out and dispatch them. It really, when you see an AI, the best thing to do is try and get up high as possible, as quick as you can. The pathfinding can be a bit glitchy at times, so obviously, but to be honest, you want to save often because the AI is pretty strong in this game. And another impressive thing is the fact that they can have so much AI on screen all at one time for an old game. Very impressive. I found myself being chased by about, I don't know, at least a dozen gorillas around one of the levels, which is pretty neat for a game from that time. Like in the game Midas, you go in one of the levels, you're in Midas's temple, and if Lara backflips into the hand of Midas, she dies by turning to gold, and they even animated that really well, which is a nice touch. As I said, IDOS have, like, honestly, they must have got really engrossed when making this game, because it's got a lot of nice little touches like that didn't have to be there. So the thing is, though, a lot of the puzzles are tricky. Sometimes it's like you almost have to, you know, you get people who like to try and boundary break on games. the game doesn't really just give anything away. Personally, I'd never use walkthroughs. I consider walkthroughs as cheating. Maybe if you're going back through the game just wanting the secrets, fair enough, but personally I'd rather stop playing a game than use a walkthrough. I know that's, but you know, you could be, if you're given for wanting one. But you know, I've played a lot of games, Tomb Raider games and so on, or games like this, and usually sometimes the answer's right in front of you, hidden in plain sight. This game is like 5-6 years, maybe even more, ahead of its time. Lots of AI on screen all at once. Levels where you can kind of, I mean, they're not open world, but they're not far off. There's a lot of levels where there's all kinds of different avenues you can take. One of the things I also, it's only a small thing that I love about Tomb Raider, is the water effects. And they're not terribly impressive in this, but it's still pretty neat that you get to swim through all those underwater tunnels. That's one of the things that I always quite enjoy doing on the Tomb Raider series. Makes you want to go to your local swimming pool. So yeah, the longevity of the game as well. I was thinking I'll complete this game in a couple of sessions and review it, but oh boy, there are millions of like little stages within levels within the complete game, and it's just, it's a long game. I can't hardly believe it was as long on the PlayStation. Maybe they left some bits out, maybe not. But again, testament to how good it is. A bit of consideration for the nostalgia. And to be honest, I would give it a good score. The only criticism really is that it can get boring at times if you're struggling to find just work out a puzzle. You might stop and then you never pick it up again. But at the time of its release, I doubt that would have happened, because it would have been just like a jaw-dropping game back then. So, you know, I've got to give this a 9 out of 10, and hopefully I'll try and play Tomb Raider 2 at some point, and I'll try and review that as well. So, I'll see you later, guys.